There's a few things every man has in common. Drinking beer, barbecuing, doing stupid shizzle for no good reason, and our love for a good old pirate movie. And it just happens to be I've caught wind of one of those pirate games that I just had to witness with my own eyeballs. This pirate game is called Skull and Bones. What it means to be a pirate is being free as a bird, not bound by any rule, to plunder, rob, kill, and download an illegal copy of your favorite movie. The world is yours and you can do anything your heart desires. This is probably what you think about when you see a game branded as a pirate game, right? And I've gotta hand it to the game, they've done a pretty decent job at embracing the pirate theme itself, but that doesn't necessarily mean they captured the feeling well. And one of the main reasons for that, if you ask me, is because this is not an open world game, it's an open sea game. And yes, in a pirate game you're supposed to spend most of your time at sea, I get it. But when you remove the choice the player has to jump off at random places to do various activities at land, people will grow tired of it faster because it feels more forced being at sea. The only reason you come to land in this game is to take on new quests, purchase upgrades, cosmetics and trade goods. And because not much of the game plays out on land, it makes material collecting so much worse. You spend your time traveling around to collect resources and materials, from trading, from collecting ship debris, sinking ships and hunting. This is literally how I had to collect some type of wood. Life has a golden rule, it's all about the journey and not the destination. But in this case, the destination doesn't feel rewarding at all and makes the journey so hard to bear. Because being limited at sea only makes material gathering way more limited and less interesting. To me personally, it felt more like a routine job that I had to do in order to get my upgrades done and level up. Black Flag had that open world feeling to it because you could jump off at a decent amount of places and islands with various activities to do on them. Where you, for example, would have to go to a specific spot to hunt down wildlife you need for crafting upgrades, pouches and darts. I can't help to think about it this way. Picture all the good parts Black Flag had, a decade later, with scenery as stunning as Red Dead Redemption, with hunting and collecting resources done as good as they did in there. I think they would have captured one part of that pirate feeling at least. Then the other part of why it doesn't feel like a pirate game comes down to having no combat besides ship combat, which eliminates another huge chunk of the PvE possibilities. Because let's say you've established some good PvE on land to collect your resources, you can now get more creative about how to get them. Sea of Thieves, for example, did an excellent job at that. And I'm not even the biggest fan of their combat system myself, but it works really well and it helps them give a lot of variation to the way you collect your loot. Now look at an example of how boarding plays out in Skull and Bones. Wow, really? Two wise men once said, "Take what you can, give nothing back." Having no hand-to-hand combat surely does not add up to the feeling of being truly free. To do whatever you desire at that moment, to forcefully take what you want to be yours or end someone's existence. And sure, the ship combat part seems nice. There's different jobs ships can do in combat. There's a wide weapon arsenal to pick from to upgrade your ship, and I can see how PvP can be really interesting. I hope they got that part right at least. But on a real note, I think a lot of people share the same concern about the game. It makes me wonder what the player base will be compared to what it could have been if it embraced the full picture of what people have in mind when they think of a pirate game. Yeah, I don't know dude, maybe the technical aspect of the ship combat at endgame is so good that people will love the game regardless. But from what I've seen, I think it will turn down a lot of players. Honestly, I'd really like to know how you feel about Skull and Bones.